Hi, my name is Tiago Duarte and welcome to another video tutorial here at DailyBeats. In today's video, I'm going to review the Akai Fire. It might not be quite a review, it will be me showcase what I think are the best, how can I say, the best features and what I like and what I don't like about it. In overall, I'm very happy with this device. I think it's a great addition to the studio, and it also helps a lot with not having to do a lot of mouse movements. So I can do some really nice stuff with this controller, and also the sounds that come along with it, because it's a Akai product. They have some free sounds which are quite nice. So yeah, in this tutorial, I'm just going to try to give you, it will not be an in-depth review. It's just me showcasing some of the features that I like, as I told you. And yeah, if you want to see a more in-depth view, just let me know in the comments, and I will do that in the future. So before we start, I would like to ask you to subscribe and activate the notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Also consider supporting my channel by buying one of my products at DailyBeats.pt or become a premium or exclusive member. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start the tutorial. So this is the basic layout of the Akai Fire. I will try to move my mic a little bit closer so that I can talk and showcase. So this is the, and probably I'm looking down, but the image will be here up. So yeah, bear in mind with me a little bit. So the nice thing that I like about this are the transpose controllers. So I can start loop, I can stop, I can play, and I can move from pattern to song. And if I click here, you can see that this button here moves from pattern to song. So these are some nice features. And of course, you can stop, play, stop anytime. So every time, for instance, that I go to the keyboard and I start playing something, and I play something that I like, what I usually do, and I just hit record. As you can see, the record button gets enabled. One thing that I don't like about this is that every time that I enable recording, I have to come here and activate the notes, which is quite I don't know why they don't enable everything, which should be enabled everything. Sometimes it happened in the past that I was going to how can I say? I was going to record something and I just hit record, and then I played, I recorded, and then it didn't record it because of these notes here, which I think it should be by default enabled. So every time you hit record here, it should record everything. So the full list should automatically be enabled. So that's some things that I don't like about this firmware. I think Akai could do a better job in the firmware. I think it's really amazing what they did here. The integration with FL Studio, it's really amazing. But I think they have some points that are just, I don't know, I would say unforgivable. But yeah, so some stuff could be more, how can I say, more integrated. Let's say like that. So then we have these functionalities here, and we can go to step mode, we can go to note mode, and this enables a full keyboard. And this is what I mean with this firmware falling a little bit short, and I will explain why. And then we have the drums section, and this works really well with the FPC. And I've been programming a lot of drums here with this mode. And we have the perform mode, and we can also click on Shift and Alt. So let's say I want to maybe tap a tempo. I can click Shift and then tap it. So this is very handy. Also, I can snap, I can accentuate, I can overview, and I can, for instance, turn off metronome. This way, if I play you can see that the meter here is playing, but is not showing anything, or it's not playing the metronome, and I can enable it like this. I can also, so all the white labels here will be enabled by Shift. Then we have here some mute and solo buttons, and a LED indicating which button is enabled. As you can see, if I click on this one, this goes to none of these are enabled. So if I click on this one, you see that now it gets enabled. Also, if I click here, it also shows up in the LED there. And this, you can do it manually here, or you can do it with the buttons here, or with the mouse here, in the software or in the hardware here. And then we have here a couple of functions. We have volume, we have panning, we have filter, and we have resonance. So it has a couple of features that are quite nice. You can move through patterns here. So we are now in pattern 1, as you can see here. If I go to click down, it will go to pattern 2, pattern 3, 4, and so on. So I can move through my patterns very easily with this functionality. Then I have here the browser. I found it somehow hard to use this functionality. I don't use it too much. I tried to use it with at the beginning to try to see if I was going to feel comfortable with it. I didn't. It was not working very well for me. So this enables the browser, and as you can see now, I enable the browser, but it does nothing. So I don't know. Maybe I have to have the browser selected. I'm really not sure how to browse, to use the browser here. So now you can see it's enabled. If I click it out, so now we are showing here the channel rack. So I'm selecting the channel rack. If I click browser, I will have the browser, but I have to manually go with the mouse and click on the browser, which doesn't make too much sense. So yeah, probably I'm doing something wrong. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's something that I don't use it very often, even though it's here. It's not a feature that I use a lot. And this knob here is very nice, feels really nice. And as you can see, I can go through all my samples really easy. I can click and open, and I can do stuff like that. So this will go through the folders and open them and close them. Okay, and then we have here the grid that we can move, and this will make more sense when we have some other stuff. So right now I have this channel rack here with a kick, a clap, a hi-hat, and a snare. So it's very easy to program stuff. You just go and you do this. So this is the clap, and we can do something like that. So if I go to the pattern mode, I take out the browser, and let's take out the metronome. And this is quite nice. The possibility of programming here in the sequencer, the sounds is quite amazing. I really like this integration. And as you can see here, we have the LEDs are showing the loop. As you can see here, I hope you can see it. Maybe the image is not the best. I'm using my secondary webcam, so sorry about that. But as you can see here, I just click on several buttons and they activate. For instance, we now have the hi-hat. I can go ahead and put here and like this. Okay. This is one of the options, and I can go and put the snare. And I can put it here. So let's say I want to make a different grid here. I can go to this side and continue creating something different. So now if I extend here in the channel rack, you can see that it created 4 bits more. So yeah, let's go and let's do something like that. Something like this. So now we can move through the different patterns, or the different it's not patterns, you can move in the grid, and you can see there is this red outline that shows you where you are in the grid, the sequencer, because this only have 4 bits, and you can extend this to how many bits you want, as you can see. Then, for instance, let's say I have here another sound. Let's go to DailyBeatsVI, drum kits, hip hop drum loops here, and not this one, headbanging trap drums. Okay, kit. Let's say I want to add a crash. Go with this one. So what happens is that this only shows four channels, and now I have 5. So the way to go about it, here with the grid you can move through the several sections of your pattern, and with this you can move up and down. As you can see here, you can still move right and left, and here you can move up and down, and this is quite nice because you can go through the full channel rack. So let's say now that this one here, it's the crash, I can put it here, and now we have the crash. Now the crash is a little bit loud, so I can go here to the volume and decrease a little bit. As you can see here, this one is decreasing. I can go a little bit lower. I can even go mess with the panning, so I want to put it on the right. And yeah, these 2 are for filtering, which I don't use too much, but yeah, they can come in handy. So now, as you can see, also the knob gets activated, or the LED, this LED gets activated based on the LED or the channel that is activated here. So let me go here. And how can I move to this one here? I'm not sure how can I do that. Okay, let's go. Let's select this. Let's maybe shift. Okay, so shift, clicking on shift, and one of these knobs solos this button here. So that's a nice feature I didn't know. As you can see, shift and clicking here enables the channel only. And okay, let's select it maybe with Alt. Yeah, Alt helps selecting. So if you want to select the kick, you just click Alt and the channel. If I want to select, for instance, these hi-hats, I can go Alt, click here, and now I have the hi-hat selected. I can lower them a little bit and move them to the left. As you can see, it's very, very intuitive, even though I didn't know how to mess around with this, because I'm not used to all these functions. I'm just more used to go with the mouse and do whatever I want. Yeah, you can do pretty much everything with this machine. So yeah. Also here, for instance, now we are in the channel rack. If I click one time, now I'm in the mixer. As you can see here, now we are going through all the channels in the mixer. Actually, what I'm doing is okay. So what I'm doing now is assigning the channel to the mixer. So if I want to assign, for instance, let's go here. Let's select the crash, which doesn't have a channel assigned, so I can go select, and then I can just move it here to channel 5, which doesn't have a channel assigned to it. Now it does. So that's pretty much it. in terms of the basic functionalities of the step sequencer. Now let's go ahead, let's go to a new pattern, and let's go ahead and bring up the FPC. So the FPC is quite nice because we have integration, direct integration of the FPC, and we have here the drums. And as you can see, whenever I click on one of these, you trigger one of these sounds. So this was made so that we could see or we could play the sounds of the FPC right here into this grid. And I don't know if you can see from the screen with this camera, but these are dark blue and these are light blue. So the LEDs light up with this mode, which is a different mode. If I go to note mode, you see that it's a different lighting, and for instance the C notes, which C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C again. The C are yellow. These ones here in the middle are kind of I would say light white, so maybe gray, a little bit gray. And these ones here are maybe orange, I guess. Yeah. So this is it. And let's go here to the drums. And again, this is just basic finger drumming. And I feel that I improved. And this is very simple to record. So what we can do, for instance, is turn on the metronome. And now if we play, we have this. So one thing that it's not that good is that you have to have selected the size of your channel rack if you want to record more than just one. If you are in the pattern mode, if you want to record more than just 4 bars or 4 beats, it's you have to select this in the channel rack. I will explain. So let's say I want to record this, the kick and the snare. I go to record and I just hit play. Let's see, we have the countdown here enabled, so it will count down and then start recording. So let's, by the way, confirm that we have the notes selected, and let's now hit play. Okay, by the way, forget what I said. Now it does it does record as it should be. And again, here I'm just playing, so this is not to be a finger drumming tutorial. So let's hit Alt Q to quantize this. Yeah, and now we can see that we have the sounds here. Very simple. We can even move this one. Oops. Move this one, was a little bit off. And as you can see, it's very, very simple to play this with the drum mode. And you can have multiple, which is quite nice, because here, if you go, you have the bank A and you have the bank B, and bank A and bank B. And if you click here, you will be able to load, as you can see. Yeah, some of the notes are now being triggered here, which is quite nice because you can now play a lot of sounds, not just from bank A but also from bank B. And this is quite nice because I have a lot of sounds here. Let's go with this one maybe, and I can just go, and so I don't have none on the bank B. I usually don't have sounds in the bank B, just on the bank A, but you can go ahead and load your kits and they will play really nicely here. It's a very, very a feature that I really enjoy with the Akai Fire is this one here. And I was really surprised with this because I didn't have in mind to buy this one. I just went to Thomann and I was there for a couple of hours testing some monitors because I wanted to buy some monitors. And I said, okay, now I'm here. I have to bring something home, of course. And I just bought this. I thought it would be a nice addition, and it was indeed a really nice addition. So now the next one will be the note. And here I have a mixed feeling about this, because let's go to another pattern and let's go, for instance, to a piano. Let's go with this one. So here it's a normal piano, and you can see so you can go from C. Let me see which C is this one. I said a lot of C's. So you can go from C3. Let's put it like this. Okay. Maybe we can put it shorter. Okay, so that we can see it. We can go from C3 and then C4, C5 or C4 and C5. So this from here to here, it's the same as here, which is okay. It's not a bad thing per se. But for instance, let's go C, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, and C. So this is the layout that we have. So we have one octave here, another octave here, that repeats here, and then the final octave here. What I don't like about this, and I feel it's like, how can I say? I feel that is really, really a shame that you only have this for octaves. How it's possible for you to have a setup like this and not be able to choose which octave you want, if you want to go up on octaves or go down. I feel that it's really, really, how can I say? It's really bad design, because you can just go and shift and use the grid up and down, and you will be able to increase and decrease the octaves. This is not a big feature. You could do this. You could implement, and now I'm talking to Akai. You could implement this very easily. For me, this is a really killer. I don't use this feature here of the piano that much because of that. Because I feel that this is really unacceptable. You should have like shift and up and down, and you could go through octaves. But having only these fixed octaves, it makes no sense for me. I think it's one of my biggest criticisms about this equipment is that, because this feature is not hard to implement, and I can tell by experience, because I'm a software engineer and I also did some plugins, so I understand what goes on inside of these machines. I programmed machines like that. I actually did for my master, it was for my first year of my master thesis, I did the project was called MPC, Music Production Center. It was a copy for, of course, educational purposes, a copy of MPC. And I had to program that me and my colleague Caesar, or my friend Caesar, we did it together, and I did an MPC. So I understand what type of code goes inside of these machines. So for me, it's really unacceptable to just having these fixed octaves. It's just 4 octaves. It's unacceptable. Imagine that you buy a keyboard with just 25 keys. For instance, I think it's the MPK25, which was the previous keyboard that I have from Akai. Imagine that keyboard not being able to go up in octaves and down. It would make no sense. And I think this is the same. So we have, I don't know how many keys we have here, or buttons we have here, but it doesn't make much sense. My M Audio keyboard, my KeyStation 61, has 61 keys and still has up and down buttons for octaves. So it would not be very hard to implement a shift up and down in terms of the root note. Actually, is it working? is actually doing that. But this is just lowering the root note, probably not the octave. Let me see here. No, it's lowering the octave. So I don't know, maybe I'm talking too much. And let me go here. But this is not octaves. Yeah, this is not octaves. This is just going down like that. Now I have a different octave, a lower octave, C2. Let's go here, C2. Okay. Yeah, C2. And if I want to go up, it's here. So I was ranting a little bit about this. I didn't know that this was possible, but yeah, even though it's just increments of one note. So yeah, I'm sorry, Akai, for saying that or saying the way I was saying. But yeah, still you should have like octaves, not just for me I have to click 12 times to go from one octave to the other. So probably there's some other options here that allowed me to do that. Let's see. No, this is patterns. What else we have here? Step mode. No, we don't have anything else besides this. So we can go up and down in the root notes, but yeah. Yeah, it's possible, but it's not practical. I still think that you should have an option to go just octaves, because I never did this, you know, so it doesn't make too much sense going just one note, at least for me it doesn't. But yeah, sorry, Akai, I was being a little bit rough. And yeah, you have that functionality, but still doesn't work for me. So yeah, I think this is it. I think this is pretty much the full rant that I had, or the full review. These are the modes that I use. I use accent. I use, which is not accent, the step mode, the note, and the drum. And yeah, it's not, how can I say, this is probably not the best review. I'm just showing what I like, how I use it. There are still other options that you could use, or other functionalities. For instance, the filters, these ones here, the accent, snap, and tap. Maybe not. These are more functionalities, not modes by themselves. But the perform mode, for instance, I don't use too much perform mode. I don't do live stuff. I just make music here in FL Studio, so I don't use perform mode a lot. I will probably in the future, if the opportunity arises, I will do it. But so far, I didn't have the necessity. Another complaint that I have about this is, so the two most complaints that I have is just the not being able to shift octaves in the note mode, and also here the browser and the selector are not, for me, are not the most intuitive ways of working. I don't know why. It's just maybe I'm not used to this machine yet. But yeah, I just want stuff to plug it in and start using correctly. So maybe hit a couple of buttons and automatically fits in my mind the process, and this doesn't. So yeah, I have to always try to see what are the buttons, what the buttons do, and yeah, maybe go to the manual, because for me it was a really pain in the beginning to just try to figure out how to work here with the browser and this wheel here. So yeah, I think this is it. Overall, I strongly recommend you buy this product. Yeah, it is. It has some. It will not replace my keyboard. I will tell you first, if you had to choose between this and a keyboard with a lot of keys, I would tell you to buy a keyboard with a lot of keys, because that was my first purchase, was this keyboard. and it's the M Audio Key Station 61. It has 61 keys, and you can do much more with that than with this. This is really nice to have, but I think it's like a second choice or a second priority in terms of the most important gear that you should buy to your studio. And yeah, I would first recommend you buy a keyboard. Doesn't have to be the one that I have, even though I really enjoy this keyboard. But yeah, I would recommend you to buy a keyboard, even if it's a smaller one with maybe 25 keys, doesn't matter. Just buy a keyboard. It will really improve the way your sound, your production sound. It will give it a little bit more. You will be able to, at least for me, it was much more easier to be more creative with the piano than with just my keyboard here in the my typing keyboard in FL Studio. So I would recommend you to first buy a normal keyboard, and then if you have the money, buy this gear. It's a really nice piece of equipment. I really enjoy it, but yeah, I would not recommend it as the first buy if you are starting out. So I think this is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that I was a little bit hard on Akai, and then I went and clicked on the stuff that I was talking about, and then they have that feature of going up and down, but it's not octaves. It's just single notes, which for me doesn't cut it. Even though I know that I will not use it because I have to click 12 times, it's not feasible. I would much prefer to have just an octave up and down, not like that. And probably they have it here. I would have to go through the manual, but I also searched this when I bought this gear, and I searched it, and in the website they say that they only have like 4 octaves fixed. And even though I was able to move up and down, they said that they only have 4 octaves, which are the 4 that they show here. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think these are my thoughts on the Akai Fire. It's a really nice piece of gear, and I recommend as a second choice in the terms of priority, like the second priority. If you don't have anything else in your studio, don't buy this. Buy a keyboard first, and then maybe buy this one, and you will be better served with a bigger keyboard. And you will be able to interact with FL Studio much better, because if you are using FL Studio, you are probably using the mouse a lot, and this can alleviate some of the use of the mouse, but it will not replace my keyboard. I'm always on my keyboard, and I'm not always on this machine. This machine is nice when I want to do some finger drumming, for instance, but it's not a replace. I could do everything with a keyboard instead of this. So these are my thoughts, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It took me a while to do a review of this, and yeah, I wanted to really understand and see the strong points and the weak points for me, at least for my use. And here it is. So if you are new here to this channel, subscribe and activate notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Also, if you want to support this channel, consider buying one of my products at DailyBeatsVI or become a premium or exclusive member, and you will have access to the exclusive tutorials that I do here to the website. And this is it, guys. My name is Tiago Duarte, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.